One of my biggest fears is here. Lego re-releasing Lego sets. Well, it might be a first world problem if that's my biggest fear, and it's not, but still, it affects myself and probably you dramatically. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing the re-release of BrickLink Designer Program Series 1 and Series 2 sets. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with BrickLink Designer Program, basically in a long-winded answer, fan designers create a Lego set. It goes into a crowdfunding vote, and there's hundreds of designs. They get voted on, 5 get selected, and then you and me have the opportunity to buy limited copies. It used to be 1 per customer. It was 5 per customer. There's only 30,000 copies made. It used to be only 10,000 copies. In modern day, it's 2 sets per customer and a total of 30,000 of that Lego set being produced total. Now, in the past, some of these numbers have fluctuated, and once crowdfunding is completed, we would then get our set roughly 6 to 7 months later from the Lego and BrickLink group. And those sets, of course, were only available for crowdfunding within about a month period of time. So really, you only had a month to purchase / crowdfund these sets, and then you get them at a much later date, which could show you that if you missed out, well, you have FOMO and have to buy some of these sets on the aftermarket. Now, with re-releasing some of these sets, it's only going to go from Series 1 and Series 2, and that's best to my acknowledgement. And trust me, guys, I'm going to go through a whole faculty amount of questions that the BrickLink team and Lego has given us, so stay tuned for that. But Series 1 and Series 2 is going to consist of 10 Lego sets. As I've already mentioned, there's only 5 per each round. So it looks like the Parisian Street, the general store, the Snack Shack, which, look at it, is sold out. The Mountain Fortress, which is sold out. And then the Old Train Engine Shed, which is sold out. The other Series 2, which will be again available for another order, is Lodging Railway, which was funded but not sold out. The Brick Cross Train Station, which was sold out. The Omnius Isle, which was funded, not sold out. The Mushroom House, which is sold out. And then one that's not sold out is the Ocean House. Now, unfortunately, it's not some of the series in the past beyond this, although I wish it was because I missed out on some of those. This, however, doesn't help my scenario, but it might help you, so it might be interesting there. I will give my final thoughts about this and the investment side of things at the end of today's video, but just purely on opinion based. But first, I want to get through some of the questions to help rationalize this. When is this happening? When is this going down? Well, it looks like the Lego Group has announced this will be live starting May 20th at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which would be 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. I don't know, maybe we'll go live for this event just to see how things go, but it looks to be that this will go live officially on the Lego website, and more specifically, it will go in the offers and sales, at least from the information that I'm getting from the Lego Ambassador Network. Now, it'll be right here, literally right here, so maybe we should go live. I'll probably will go live for this event. Drop a comment if you want me to, and we can shop for these together. Now, I don't know if the website's going to have a glitch or anything like that, but we'll see. It is stipulated to 1 copy per customer. So technically, if I'm not mistaken, you'll be able to order 10 Lego sets, but let's get through some fine reading as we continue to go through this. Guys, this is critical. This is urgent. I have so many mixed feelings on this, but I'm saving them for the end of today's video. Anyways, as I scroll down here, there's a whole bunch of questions that's going to be answered here. Why are they doing this? How many can you get? Some of that I already answered. But anyways, how can I check if extra BrickLink BDP sets are available? You will find an email you received from the BDP sets. Click the link, scroll to the bottom of the list, and you'll be taken to lego.com. Once there, you'll be able to click on the sets if you're interested and see if they're available. So judging from that question, I don't know if that includes all 10 of these sets, right? Maybe it's just some of the extra ones produced, right? I'm sure, and this makes sense because I'm sure they make a margin of extra sets just in case, this guy's box got extremely damaged and we have to replace it, or this one was missing a bag. There is a margin of error. So if this is the true reason of the reprint, and I'm calling it a reprint, it's really not. I'm pretty sure what it is just the extra copies or the returned copies or somebody canceled order. Those are the ones that are being going up for auction here. Why are these extra BDP sets available, and how does this happen? The answer here was the number of sets is compromised of a limited quantity of canceled orders, extra sets produced to replace lost and damaged shipments, and we can only make extra sets available when pre-orders have been fulfilled, which I think for the most part makes sense. And I don't know if it makes sense that they do that. They waited so long and are bundling these together, but I guess that's discussion for a different video. Now, one question I asked in the land was, if this is live and we are ordering these officially from Lego.com, are we going to be able to get the GWP promotional items that are going to be available and offered to us with some of these buys? So I haven't got an answer yet, but I'll drop that answer in the comment section below when I do find out a little bit more information on that. The next question here was, are all BDP sets restocked after selling out? Currently, there's no plans to produce additional sets for each series when crowdfunding period ends, which I think, hopefully staying true. From the bottom of my heart, I hope that stays true. As a collectible collector himself, that will give his thoughts and opinions at the end of today's video. Who can purchase these BDP sets? This is a definite kicker here. It is exclusive to the United States and Canada. And you are limited on the number of sets, which I'm pretty sure was 1%. Is there a limit? Yes, there's a limit. You can only buy one copy of each set. So if you have a Lego account, it looks like they will be stipulating one per account. So if, like I mentioned, if all 10 are available, which I guess at this point we don't know, you'll only be able to buy one copy, therefore one of each of the 10 sets. Will excess BDP sets be available globally? Are they only available in US and Canada? There's very limited quantities and only available to members in US and Canada. Hence what we've already said. This is because the access sets were produced by the US and Canadian markets. If I'm not mistaken, BrickLink headquarters is in California, so I guess that makes sense. I'm located in Europe. How can I purchase extra BDP sets? If you are located in Europe, and excess BDP sets are sold exclusively at the Lego house in Bolin, Denmark during inside tours and fan tours. So if you are in Europe or anywhere else, and you get a exclusive invite to the Lego house or whatever it may be, you get a fan tour, it looks like you might be able to purchase some of these extra copies of the BrickLink Designer Program sets. The next question is, how do I place an order for extra BDP sets? If you're interested in at the top of this page, yeah. Okay, we already answered that. It should be. I might revisit that question just because it says it's on the Lego sale page, but then they mentioned something about getting an email to purchase it. I don't know exactly what that means. How do I place an order? Yeah, we talked about what payments. Okay, payments, really. I feel like there's better questions than to ask what payments are accepted. Is it possible that additional Series 3, 4, and 5 will become available in the future? You will be notified via email if this occurs, which... Thoughts at the end, Christo. Thoughts at the end. And then the last question is, how do I stay updated on the BDP sets that are available? They give a long-winded answer, but basically they said subscribe to Stud City because he covers everything BDP, as well as Lego news, reveals, Lego deals, and sales. So there you go. You heard it from Lego themselves. No, seriously though, subscribe. All right, going back to the top here, I want to just revisit one thing just to make sure I have a clear answer here on where to buy this. It says, how can I check if extra BDP sets are available? It says, you will find a link in the email you received about the extra BDP sets. Click the link and then scroll on the bottom of the sets listed and you'll be taken to Lego.com. Once there, you'll be able to click on the sets you're interested and see if they are available. This is extremely vague because it definitely mentioned that it'll be on the Lego sales page. So I don't know if it'll be an email or officially on a sales page. I will list any updates I have in the comment section below, and I'll try to pin it. That way anyone lingering around will have the latest and greatest information, specifically if we find those GWPs. But now that you stuck away through the end of today's video, I think it is very interesting that Lego is re-releasing these BrickLink Designer Program sets to the masses. And I think there's far better ways to do this, in my own opinion. I think not making this public as they are making it, and rather just load these sets up to Bill in Denmark and just low-key offload them, and then maybe keep that information private. Like, hey, yeah, while you're there, hey, these are just extra copies. Here, if you want them, you can buy them here exclusively at the Lego house. Versus, this is probably going to be major news, and this is probably going to upset a lot of people, as it does upset me, because the BrickLink Designer Program is something I've also invested my hard-earned cash in. And as a Lego investor, I'm not someone who likes to see Lego sets be re-released, right? Whether they have extra copies or not, it's just not something I have been overjoyous about. Now, I will say this, staying true to that, fingers crossed, hopefully they only produced the sets that were pre-ordered and that small margin that they disclosed, right? That, which just makes sense that, hey, we were going to print extra copies. Maybe somebody gets damaged. That makes sense. Like, I feel like you have to. You cannot, if you ordered 100 copies, right? We had 100 pre-orders and we only made 100 sets. I think you're setting yourself up to fail as a business standpoint. So it definitely makes sense. Let's make 110 copies just to be safe. And then later down the road, we'll auction off or, do something with these 10% sets. I don't think this is the way to go about it. I personally don't. I do think this will entice a lot of fans, especially myself, but it might help some that missed out on these sets, and then they don't have to go to eBay and spend $150 for this set that was like $90, right? But as a collectible collector, I think this hurts the brand name, at least in my eyes, as someone who collects Lego. For the collectability side points, re-releases is never something I'm interested in, and I would definitely look at the BrickLink Designer Program a little bit different after something majorly like this. I mean, this is absolutely huge. But I'm curious to see what you guys have to say in the comments below. Will you be continue to buy BDP? Are you happy? Are you mad? Are you sad? Or you don't know what to feel? But hopefully a random guy on the internet doesn't steer your thoughts and opinions. Anyways, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you like this type of content, make sure to subscribe, like today's video, and we'll see you in the next one.